I am, for those of you that don't know me, the current president of the SIM Portland chapter. It's my great honor to lead this organization for the next, it's a 2-year term, so I'm in my first year, started in April. So it's my great privilege and honor really to introduce the Excellence in Technology Leadership Awards. This year we have 2 awards. Last year we had the CIO of the Year award, and this year we have a new category. We have the CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer of the Year award. I'd like to, as you can see, we had 2 panels of distinguished judges to review the applications, and Fred Pond assisted with leading those 2 groups. And also I should acknowledge here, he's not listed, Pradeep Kumar actually started this CIO of the Year award program. We obviously we're a chapter within a larger SIM organization. Other chapters have done similar programs, and so we've really adopted that one here. But it does take a lot of work to both review all the applications and then also shepherd this process through from when we get the applicants submitted, and we encourage people to recommend awardees, and all the way through to the evaluation, and then letting people know, and then promoting the awardees out. So we actually had the awardees decided around what was it, May timeframe, but we're officially acknowledging them tonight. We had hoped that we would be able to be back in person and do this at a dinner, so I'm sorry for that. But what we were able to do is take our awardees out for a socially distanced dinner as part of this process. So the first award is, what we're going to review here is for the 2020 Oregon CISO Year of the Year Award. And as you can see, this goes to John Washburn from Stoll Reeves. This award acknowledges Chief Information Security Officers that have demonstrated excellence in technology leadership. The finalists and winners are selected through peer review, and the selection process is based on their leadership role in the organization, driving information security practice at the organization, innovation in information security, managing the security organization, and community and charitable involvement. So, as I mentioned, I think next slide, we have a picture of the socially distanced trophy exchange. Yeah, no, and we were actually outside at the Oswego Grill at one of their external tables. So we were wearing masks except when we were 6 foot apart. So congratulations, John. John was actually our presenter for, was that our April or May? I think it was maybe our May.
I think it was back in May. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. But John actually presented, and his presentation is on the website. If you log in with your membership identity and go under the events, you'll find links to the past programs there. So congratulations, John. Well deserved and well earned.
Thank you.
And so the other award, and actually the awardee tonight is our keynote speaker. So the 2020 Oregon CIO of the Year goes to Lutz Beck from Daimler Trucks. Again, this award recognizes CIOs who demonstrated excellence in technology leadership. And again, the winners are selected through peer review for their leadership role in the organization, driving business change, innovation, managing the IT organization, and their community and charitable involvement. So congratulations, Lutz. Lutz also attended our socially distanced awards dinner. And Fred was there as well. Here's Fred presenting the award to Lutz. So, oh yes, that was the socially, no, not socially, the masked award for health and safety purposes. That was a little bit of a joke, but there you go. Congratulations, Lutz. And
thank you.
I will turn it over, I believe, is that right next, Pradeep, to
Yes. Yeah.
Tony Alvarez to introduce our speaker.
I'll gladly introduce Lutz. When I called Lutz to organize our speech tonight, or his presentation, my intent was to say, you know, what would be a great topic to open out the year? Because as you know, this is our opening meeting for the new season. And I kind of was like, what would be interesting? I had a bunch of thoughts and a list of topics that I thought would be great. But to start, I just said, hey, Lutz, why don't you just tell me what you would talk about if I didn't prompt anything? And it was perfect. So with zero prompting, let's pick a good topic. And as I heard him talk about it, I knew it was going to be of interest to everybody and a great conversation that encourages us to share knowledge and network with each other, which is our whole goal here. So without a lot of ado, I'm going to turn it over to Lutz, and I think you'll enjoy hearing him talk about some of the transition that he's been facing and opportunities that have been presented recently. And I have a strong feeling we're all going to relate to what he talks about. Now remember that you have a QA button. If you want to throw some questions out at the end of the presentation, he's going to take some. So go ahead and use that. And without any further noise from me, take it over, Lutz.
Thank you. I will do. Thank you, Tony, for the. I'll just figure out. Had some trouble here. Make sure that I get all this done correctly. Just give me a second. All right. So so thanks for the opportunity. First of all, let me say thank you for the award. I was very surprised when Richard was calling me. So thanks a lot for having that. I mean, it's a very good thing also for the organization here at Daimler Trucks North America, for the IT organization. I think it's hopefully also showing my team what we're doing. And when we had the discussion on what we're doing, I wanted, Tony and myself, we were talking shortly, and I said, okay, let's look into that, because what we can look into is basically, I mean, I see there is a mistakes, but jeopardized plans and new challenges. So basically, I'll give you a bit of an update what we're doing, or what we were doing here at DTNA in the year 2018, 2019, basically end of 2018, 2019, and then when COVID hit us, when the pandemic was starting, and what we basically do out of it, because very important on everything we're doing. What we noticed, I mean, there is, as you know, I have, or some of you know, I was, before coming here to Portland, I was 7 years in Asia. I was in Japan. And there is a nice Chinese character, which is having actually the word crisis in Chinese is also representing the word opportunity. So that means in each crisis also an opportunity. And this is something which we looked into, of course, when we worked on the topic. So I don't think I have a slide here for Daimler Trucks, but I don't think I need to go through this one. I just wanted to have that in so you can read out. I wanted to give you a short background on myself, because some of you know me, some of you don't know me. So I was coming to Daimler Trucks North America end of 2018, September 2018. And I was immediately starting on a new strategy, which is called Building the Intelligent Company, which is comprising all the digital transformation efforts which we are doing, and which is looking at the new role of IT. which we basically brought in place, which was driving the IT in a different role. Before I was, as I was mentioning, I was in Japan. I was the CIO at Daimler Trucks Asia, Mitsubishi Fuso Trucks and Buses, where I also did the complete transformation program for Daimler Trucks Asia. And before I was basically back in Germany in various roles here in the company itself. So what we did, and this is maybe important for you, when we are looking in the IT topic here at Daimler Trucks North America, of course we have, as IT, we're supporting our business in all the different areas. But one important thing is, and this is of course for the automotive industry, we have a topic which is called CASE, which is connected, autonomous, shared or services, and electric. And if you look at that, there is one topic which is lying here in Portland as well, and it's the autonomous topic. So I have the responsibility also worldwide, globally, for Daimler Trucks on autonomous driving, and we're working towards that as well. And then, of course, what we did, as I said, we built the new strategy, which is called Building the Intelligent Company. Building the Intelligent Company means basically that we're using the most valuable asset which we have as a company, which is data, in order to drive decision making, to drive business optimizations, and also innovations. So we need basically look in all the activities. We look at the products, we look at services, we look at the processes, and as well as the people, very important for us. And we combine that in what we call digital foundation layer, which is our backend today. We call that digital foundation layer, and we have then driving forces in 8 different action fields, which I come to. What is helping us in order to drive the strategy is what we did in 2019 already, which was building up a center of expertise in various areas. So we have basically a center of expertise in the cloud topic. Our complete journey to cloud is managed via a competence center. The second thing is we were building a digital transformation office within Daimler Trucks North America, which is leading the complete digital transformation across the whole company, steered from an IT point of view. We have a sourcing supplier management, we have a Salesforce topic, and then we have a data intelligence hub where we all doing all our analytics, and we have everything what is around IoT. Important for us was that we are basically changing the IT in various ways, coming out from a very traditional IT thinking here at Daimler Trucks North America, where IT was seen mostly as a supplier, into, first of all, a valued business partner, where we basically support, of course, and in some kind of a support function, our core business, but where we also driving the digital transformation together with our colleagues here, and be most effective and efficient as possible to run all this. The second thing is we clearly strive for IT thought leadership, means we will need to bring the new technology and methods to the company, and of course driving innovation. So we need to steer, and we were steering that. We take that in our hand, and we are driving with new technologies, with new innovations, the optimizations on the business processes, on the methods, and in other areas. And then, of course, very important is the technological enablement. Also, technological enablement means that our digital foundation layer is actually ready to integrate all what we want to do. So we need to prepare our backend also in order to make sure that the digital transformation is successful. Because if this, of course, if the backend cannot have everything built on top, we will have a problem. So, and here you see then now what we do. So basically we have at the core of our strategy, we have the profound digital foundation layer, where we have all our topics in. We have the backends, the application, the infrastructure, which we are using, the people, which we are using. This is all in there. And then we have the connecting blocks of autonomous vehicles, which are very important because we as IT move more onto the product itself. So we are building topics in the truck itself, either is it on the security side, on the cybersecurity side, or is it in other areas as well in terms of software engineering on the ECU level. Then very important, we are switching towards customer experience. So meaning we are not driving everything out of the company, we're switching the mindset and looking what the customer really needs, what is value add for the customer, and how we want to drive that. Then smart factory and logistics, of course, the connection of everything is helping us, and the usage of data to optimize here. Data-driven, we are on the way to a data-driven organization. We are on the way, we're not there. There is a long way to go with all the rules which are coming also in terms of data governance. We have a lot of things to do, but we have a so-called data intelligence hub, which is having all that. And we also established the chief data officer role now within the IT organization to do it. Then of course, connected electrified vehicles, very important topic for us as well, especially the connectivity to get the real-time information out of the trucks. It's very important. And then the cybersecurity topic, of course, which we need to take care as well. So we had this full foundation built already, as I said, in 2019. We worked on the various topics. We looked especially, because it was mentioned before, on the workforce. We looked at what kind of skills we need in the organization. We have an initiative which is called People 4.0. And now with the pandemic, of course, this is changing because now we are looking even more. We see that as a good opportunity because so far we were looking for people in the Portland region. Now we are looking at that we are basically having, we can use nationwide the skills and people. So we were looking at bringing people on board to work for us in different regions, and we're looking in different areas now to establish offices where we can hire people because the access to talent might be easier, salary ranges might be better for us. So we're looking at, because as a very traditional industry, we have a lot of trouble to find the necessary skills. This was built, this was done, and we were on the way to do it. We also, of course, broke the whole strategic action items down. We have, we're using OKR as the method to track the progress and everything. So we were really using it from a strategic action field down to the key result. We gave that to the whole organization, and this was really running very well, which was helping us basically to achieve 50% of what we wanted to have already, and that we have that. So we had established, as mentioned, a digital transformation office, which was leading our whole efforts in terms of new innovations and topics. We established a data intelligence hub with the data scientists, with the data analysts, which are running a lot of big data programs at the moment. We have a new communications program. We were setting up a school of technology where we train and skill our people. We have, because we are sitting, or we are using Salesforce as a platform more and more, we established a COE here as well in order to streamline all the efforts which we have. And then on the other side, as I mentioned before, very important for us was also that we are doing everything what we are doing needs to drive value for the company or the customer. And that's the reason why we basically were setting up a complete different governance model in terms of our projects. We established what we call an IT project steering committee across the company, where I have colleagues from all the different business areas in, and we are discussing within this company all the projects which IT is doing. In a year, we discuss the whole operative planning and see what kind of topics we do. We have, in the meanwhile, also achieved that we have for 100% of our projects business case calculations, and see if there is a real benefit, if there is a payback, if there is something which we can use or not. And this was helping quite a lot also to get the transparency within the company that we actually over the last couple of years spend a lot of money in topics which actually added no value to the company itself, or better said, to the customer, because this is the primary focus for us, that we have our customers in that. Now, we have, of course, various projects running. So our journey to cloud is running. We have an Azure, we're sitting here on Microsoft Azure environment, and we have the Cloud Center of Excellence. So we are moving more and more into the cloud. We have our complete autonomous, we have our connectivity in the cloud. We have the whole analytics in the cloud, and we are moving applications more and more into a SaaS model, where we also use basically the providers to give us infrastructure and application. Then we had a project running on the analytics side, which we call proactive sensing, where we actually move quality issues, where we can detect quality issues much earlier and prevent failures much earlier than before. And you see here down, it's giving us 8 million savings in warranty costs per year. This was a good program, and now we're doing the next step here. We're running the so-called immersive studio for Daimler Trucks North America. We're using virtual reality. We're using holodecks in different areas, in the engineering area, in the marketing area. We just recently prepared now the first virtual launch, which we're doing for our new vocational truck, which is coming soon. And we're basically running that completely virtually, and we did that all on the topic. Then we are using virtual reality in the training area. We're using virtual reality for our technicians at the dealer side, and this is making everything also easier for them. We launched within the crisis, within the pandemic, we launched our parts e-commerce platform, and this was very well perceived by our customers. And you see here as well, that's an 800 million increase on the revenue on the parts side over the next 6 years. And then, of course, we have a platform for the connected trucks, which was already in place, and where we get more and more vehicles on it. We have currently roughly 200,000 trucks connected in the field, which are basically delivering real-time data to us every single day. And we are basically moving this data back partially to our customers because they are using it, or we are providing additional service based on this data to our customers. Important is we are looking from an IT point of view, we are looking at the truck as a digital asset, which is providing us data which we can use, and we need to move this digital asset, and we need to move more services out of that. So we want to generate out of an IT-driven topic revenue for the company in the future. So, and this was all set up. Everything was done over the last 2019. Basically, we were running full steam on the whole topic. And then beginning of this year, the pandemic hit us, right? And this was then the time to react. So to look into immediately what we're doing, right? I mean, there was not a lot of time, and I guess you were all having the same issues as well, because it was just coming directly, and there was no, hey, warning or whatever. It was hitting us, and we were basically going down. The first days of the crisis, we were moving immediately in keep the lights on mode. That means we suspended 95% of our project work. We rolled off roughly 500 externals which work for us. We looked at how we can use, or which employees we need on site, how we can do work from home, what is the necessary infrastructure do we have all in place, and it was working quite well. So we had, I would say, 1 to 2 weeks, and then everyone in the company was up and running again and looking normal, because it was operations. So we were, because keep the lights on from an IT point of view, it was easy because people were used, but we were basically helping, of course, our colleagues here in the company to look into, hey, what needs to be done I had even people coming and taking their screens and monitors with them to home because they were not having any equipment. They were not having an office space at home. So we moved all of that around, but it was taking us a week or two. And then, of course, we had some in-between stabilizing of the whole situation, looked into, is the infrastructure stable? We had roughly 8,500 people on a VPN. So this needed to run all the time. Then Zoom was mentioned before, right? We looked at which tools. We have WebEx, we have Zoom, we have Teams. Mostly we're using Zoom because of the functionalities of the user interface and everything. And then, of course, the questions were coming, hey, what is about the productivity? Can we look into that? Can we see what's going on there? And then, of course, the focus was on the IT side more to drive the business continuity, legal topics, audit topics, but nothing else anymore. So, but using that now, because I mean, this was a wake up. And as I said, we looked at the crisis as a point of, this is also an opportunity for us, because I still had cleanup to do on the project portfolio, because I knew we're doing a lot of topics which are not valuable. So as we suspended most of the projects, we looked at all the projects again, and we looked at what are really the critical topics we need to continue as soon as we're allowed to continue something as well, and which topics we actually need to discuss with our colleagues and say, hey, we stop the whole initiative because it doesn't make sense. The second thing is we looked also, of course, what needs to be done with our strategy. What do we need to adjust on our strategy? What is changing? Which elements of the strategy are actually planned already to work in such a crisis, and which elements of the strategy we need to adjust because it doesn't make sense. So we looked at the different department strategies again. We looked at the building blocks per department. We reinitiated a lot of the topics, prioritized again the IT projects, and then we looked also again what is actually needed when we are looking at the post-pandemic area. What is actually needed from an organizational IT organization point of view? Which kind of resources we do need? Which kind of skill sets do we need in order to immediately start to do that? Because important. When we started the days of the crisis, right, we ramped down the business substantially as well. The only operation which was actually running the whole time was our aftermarket, was our parts delivery centers, but our plants here in US as well as Mexico were stopped completely. All the blue-collar workers were sent home, and we stopped the complete production of all the trucks. And of course, we needed to prepare also for a ramp up of that. So we were taking that down, and we needed to make sure that we can ramp up at any point of time. But on the other side, looking forward, we said, okay, what needs to be done actually if something else like this is coming up again? Because we all knew we cannot, or we all know that we cannot go back to the pre-pandemic world, right? I mean, even a lot of people wish it will not be as February 2020 or January 2020 or December 2019. We will never come to that point anymore. So we need to prepare actually for a different working model, for a new normal, as it's called. And we also need to look how we can do that actually in the future, and what does that mean? And here the IT thought leadership was coming in, because we need to look into what we are actually doing and how we are doing it in the future, and how we make sure that everything what we are doing works correctly. So, and what we did, we reassessed the whole strategy again, and here you see just a bit of an outcome. There is of course much more, but we were just trying to get this in. So when we looked at our 6 strategic building blocks, we looked at what is the target outcome on the connected side, on the autonomous, customer experience, data-driven, cybersecurity, right? Looking also, of course, what is the COVID-19 impact on the trucking industry, what will remain, what will go, and then of course benefits with the COVID-19 relevance means any pandemic or anything what we have. So when you're looking into it, right, and this was very important to say, hey, target outcome for connected and electrified vehicles was, for instance, that the truck-to-truck communication enabled, that we trucks independent from gas stations, that we have all this kind of topics in there, right? And then, of course, autonomous vehicles, which require safety, overseeing the system, safety driver, all that. Autonomous is a big topic anyway. This is not just before, this was not before the crisis already because there is a driver shortage, but it was more obvious, of course, also in the crisis, because when you have such a crisis and the people do not want to drive, right? But we do know exactly, as we are part of the essential infrastructure, essential business for transportation of goods. It doesn't mean food, whatever it is, right? We do have statistics, which is actually if you have no truck traffic for a week, you will not have the necessary pharmaceuticals or medicine anymore across the country, and all that kind of topics. We do understand that, so we need to basically work on that even more and go in this topic even more, because this is more essential that we have trucks running on highway, autonomous, so you just have distribution points that you can distribute that. Customer experience, yeah. We changed a lot on the e-commerce. We do online, right? And we see that already with the launch of our parts e-commerce platform. We have ambitious planning in terms of revenue, but we noticed already after now having the platform running for roughly 3 months, we see already how much it's increasing. And we had end of August already the all-time high daily part sales with more than 16 million revenue a day. So that's quite good, and we'll need to continue on that one. We need to make it not touchable, right? But no direct communication anymore, because we do know exactly that this will go more and more, and especially on our aftermarket side, we see that that customers do not want to see our aftermarket salesperson anymore. They want to have that online because they can do everything. They need to have the necessary information, and we'll continue doing that. Then, of course, if you look at smart factories, logistics, we need to continuing working on a flexible network system architecture that we can do real-time services and the digital supply chain, because one of the most important topics on the digital supply chain was that, of course, we are highly depending on our suppliers as well. And this needs to be highly connected, especially when you ramp up a plant. We do need to know what is exactly coming from our suppliers. And we still do not have here a lot of transparency, a lot of input. So that's the reason why the way of working on that one was correct. It's a correct strategic action item, but we're by far not where we should be. And that's exactly where we're looking into now. Then, of course, data-driven organization is helping, right? If we use the data correctly, if we can do decisions based on data, it's much better. So we need to continue on that one. And the cybersecurity, of course, I mean, we have a huge number of attacks daily base. So we need to work on that. And as we are going more and more also into the product in the truck itself, we need to look at that as well. But when we look basically on the subset of the target outcomes from our strategy, we noticed, hey, this is the right things. We are actually good. The pandemic was coming too early. We were not really prepared. But the good thing was that we had the right action items, that we worked correctly on the topics, and that the management realized, I had a lot of discussions with the CEO and the CFO on that one. We need to drive the digital transformation even more. We need to drive the whole topics. We need to invest in these areas. We need to not invest in the old stuff, which you need to keep it running. But on the other side, we need to invest in the new topics. We need to make sure that we have that. So what we created now with the help of the pandemic, to be honest, is we have a complete different funding model established. So we have the traditional funding from an IT point of view for everything what we're doing in the digital foundation, because this is clear. Here we need to work on efficiencies. Here we need to work towards a target to optimize everything and simplify everything. But on the other topics, we come back on, because as we generate revenue, like for our parts platform, we come to a model that we say we use that. We go away also from a project to a product. And by using the product methodology, we basically say everything what the costs which are coming with the product needs to be covered by the revenue we're doing or by the efficiency we are doing. And especially on the revenue topics, we agreed now that we will fund the investments which are needed for the products to basically further develop the products, but also the run topics on the products will be funded basically out of the revenue we generate with it. So we have now two models for the budget, which is actually quite good, because this is giving us an opportunity to drive the digital transformation even further, right? So that's the reason. I mean, we look at it and you see, I mean, I have also the benefits here with the COVID-19 relevance. There is a huge potential which we have. I had a lot of trouble. I had the trouble at the beginning, not a lot of trouble. I had trouble to bring the management behind the strategy initially. But when they were behind, they said, okay, drive it, do it. COVID was hard because it was hitting us. It was disrupting the business. But we looked at it and as a potential and as an opportunity. And what really helped us now is because due to the fact that we had all this visibility and transparency done and adjusted our strategy, COVID was actually helping us to push digital transformation even more than we did it before. Of course, we still have targets, but we see now as IT, if you look at IT as a very classical topic, right? IT as costs, right? You can look at IT as costs, or you can look at IT as a business efficiency, but you can look at IT also as a digital disruption where you can, based on services which you create with technology, create more revenue or additional revenue for the company. And the good thing now is even keeping the old stuff and even working on the digital foundation, there is a clear understanding that IT with the forward leadership needs to drive the further digital transformation, and also need to look at the big ticket items, as we call it, on the additional revenue, because this is something what the management is expecting from us now. And the CEO clearly stated, you need to work on that. You have the target to work on this and to give me ideas, what can we do and how can we do it. So in general, it was good that we had the strategy set up before the COVID. The crisis hit us. We noticed that everything what we have in place is enabling us to work from home. Now with the new topics and the adjusted strategy, we need to work differently. We need to drive more the digital transformation, and very important for us, we need to adjust the organization, because we do know that we will not have 100% of the colleagues back in the offices. There will be a different model. There is currently work ongoing, which we call future of work, where we're looking into what percentage people actually need to be back in the office, which kind of use cases we have where people need to work in the office, which kind of use cases we actually have where we do not need the people anymore in the offices. So I'm working now with my infrastructure head as we are moving a lot of the infrastructure topics further away to suppliers, but on the other side also keeping people working from home or wherever they want to work, because the job doesn't require that they are here, which is giving us better access, as mentioned, to talent. So we will open an office in Austin, Texas now, This gives me two opportunities. This gives me the opportunity to have a better access to talent, better salary ranges, and the second also access to startups and different methodologies, different working models, and of course I can do the work from wherever. So I mean, this is something which is coming now as well. So we really look into. We're happy that we had the strategy. We're happy that a lot of the topics were still valid. There were topics which we needed to adjust. And now we're looking forward to basically establish this new working model. Luckily, our business is back since June, which is helping us to work on the topics. But still, there is a lot of work to do, especially on the mindset, on the culture. We have a lot of topics here to do, because in order to realize that what you see here and driving that really in a short time frame, we need to have a complete different attitude, and this is where we're now working on as an IT organization. So on one hand, it was the pandemic was a bad thing and is a bad thing. On the other side, we tried to make the best out of it and use it as an opportunity, and it was really helping, because we are going in topics which we were never there before. We got, and this is for our Daimler Trucks North America, a big thing. We got even praise from the engineering area for what we did during the pandemic, because we were basically able also to keep our engineers up and running, because we had virtual desktops in place and everything, so they were able to work from home and whatever. So I think it was at the end of the day a good opportunity to showcase IT capabilities, and now we are basically even having a stronger position, and now we just need to make sure that we are delivering on what is expected, and then I think we will have that, and we will have that up and running and can do everything what hopefully the management is expecting from us. So that was just a short topic to give you a bit where we were coming from, and then basically when the pandemic hit us, what we did in order now to drive the new topics into the new normal. Thank you.
Thanks, Lutz. I guess now we have the opportunity for questions and answers. So I'm not sure. I'm looking now to see if there are any, but now would be the time to do that. If you haven't, looks like there are some. So Lutz, can you take a look at the questions, and
yeah.
And I'll help you manage anything on the tech side here, but go ahead.
Yeah, so Bob is asking about what is missing in the workforce in the Portland market. How would you measure the success of more fully remote? So what is missing? There is probably nothing missing, Bob, but we just don't have a possibility with our compensation models to compete with a lot of companies, either in the Portland area or from a Bay Area and from a Seattle area. So that's something, and we basically try to make more. We push the university contacts now. We want to be more closer to the universities here as well, to make sure that Daimler Trucks is known also. You know, I mean, we are also in an industry which is not really interesting for a lot of people, because they don't think about all these technologies or all the topics which we are doing. So this is a bit the difficulty for us. Well, measure the success of a more fully remote workforce is difficult, because we are currently talking about how can we measure the productivity of the workforce, right? Especially when it's remote. So I think when the success of a fully remote workforce will be done when I'm able to have the same productivity as I would have it now when I have the people in the office. Skills that local, yes, we're working with Oregon State University and Portland State University, and we ask them, especially on the new technologies, that we need to have more people in there. So virtual reality, augmented reality is something we're looking at. If you look at a lot of the topics which we do in terms of autonomous, we don't find the people here. So this is something which we need to work on. Then, the organization is roughly 350 internal people, and we had approximately, when I was arriving, 1,300 externals. We are now at 500 externals, of course, with the pandemic hitting us. And I did a lot of restructuring, so I changed a lot in the organization itself to make that different. I changed also my direct reports. Almost all of them are changed, and we changed also on the manager level quite significantly. The topic what was helping is the digital transformation office, because this is helping me to get the business. The business was doing a lot of innovations by themselves, but now it's channeled all via the digital transformation office. So this is helping quite a lot. And then what was helping as well is the data intelligence hub, which is now bundling and having all this data analytic topics in there. But we restructured and we repurposed positions significantly. Roll back, Fred, is a good question. I probably would start earlier to start with the restructuring of the organization. It was taking too long to restructure the organization, and because this was taking time by not creating the strategy, but when we hit the implementation road, we were not fast enough at the beginning, and we would have been, if we would have been faster, we would have been even better prepared for the pandemic. Help set priorities. I mean, COVID, was when it hit us, it was basically keep the lights on. So there's poor operations. There is nothing in terms of projects which we did. It was good on the project refine on the project selection, because we were asked to look at all the projects again and look in what is really needed and what are topics we don't need. So we cut a lot of projects out, and as we had the new project steering committee in place, we were able to give a lot of transparency on these projects which were running, and where the people and the colleagues said, no, we don't need that because there is no value add. So we had the business cases done for these projects then as well. So this was quite helpful, because the number or the percentage of projects with value delivery, means payback, is increasing more and more. We're still not there where I would like to be, because we should look in only in this what we create value with. Of course, we have life cycle topics, we have other topics which is not generating necessarily value, but needs to be done. So we have that, of course, as well. But everything what we do anew for customers, for our dealers, should create value, and this is what we need to look into. And this was helping because I was able to stop all the topics. Techniques. I'm probably, due to my nature, a very direct person, and when I presented the strategy, which was in end of 2018, beginning 2019, I was firstly giving the upper management my picture, my due diligence picture of what I found when I was arriving here. And this was, from my point of view, it was a bit shocking for the upper management. They were not expecting that. But I think this was one big portion. I'm basically always very transparent in terms of budget and everything. What we're doing, we're transparent. We're not looking. So I'm pushing things out. Of course, people don't necessarily like to hear that, but on the other side, it doesn't make sense differently. I mean, when I was coming, the organization was, and this is still, I have still a bit of a mindset in here and culture, was some kind like a supplier organization, right? We do everything what the business is requesting without asking anything. And business was throwing everything basically on the IT organization, say, okay, look, this is what I need. This is the supplier, now deliver in 6 months, 12 months, whatever. And we changed that now. We have a clear approach that business needs to be part of everything what we are doing. And we're pushing back, right? Of course, I still have it. I mean, you don't get that out so easily, but due to the changes which we did in the organization, it's coming in more and more. But what I'm doing, technique, you know, I'm honest with everybody, and I'm telling them things which they might do not want to hear, but I'm not here. This is maybe the pleasure of having an assignment here in this company, because we have the assignments always 3 to 5 years, right? And this is giving us other opportunities. I'm not looking for a lifetime job at Daimler Trucks North America. We have this topic that we have a whatever 5 years, 6 year maybe max. But that's why we're here. We need to change something, and that's the reason. This is our task. Why we're coming to these assignments, and this is making it easier to sell also topics to the upper management. Wait, I need to.
Are you involved with the Oregon Manufacturing Innovation Center, OMIC?
Me personally, not. Yeah, I would like to have. I don't even know if Daimler Trucks is doing that. I would really like to be involved there. How did you approach IT governance? So there wasn't. I mean, the governance, Richard, was basically just to comply with everything what we have as standard at Daimler, right? So we have, of course, because we have this huge organization also coming in the background, also in Germany. So a lot of the IT governance rules are actually created from Germany, and the organization was keeping everything what was needed somehow to comply, but they were not doing all, right? So we needed to change also quite a lot. But if you ask me in terms of, I mean, this is risk management, all these topics, right? But if you ask me in terms of IT governance, hey, what kind of technologies are coming into the company or used in the company, which suppliers we're using, there was nothing. I could actually, when not more, but beginning 2019, I could have acted as a software reseller, because I actually had everything what you can buy on the market mostly in my portfolio. So we needed to basically streamline. There wasn't much in place, because the business was deciding what needs to be done. On the approach from the IT organization before was, we just do everything what makes the business happy. And this is there. Do I need a deputy CIO? Well, I always need good people, right? If there is a good person out, I always need good people, right? I'm going through now here the Q&A, right? COVID have any effect on your operational project budget? Yes, I mean we cut just give you an idea. Due to the measures which we did, I cut the budget already from year-end 2019 on OP 2020. I cut already the IT budget by 12.5% overall. The COVID was giving me another 5% on top, so 17.5% is what we need to bring in 2020. The good thing is that my budget will go up again in 2021, especially on the project budget. We have almost 25 million US dollar more again in 2021. Yes, I'll thanks Michael. I will contact you. Are you thinking about what might come next? First of all, Fred, what I need to make sure that when I'm establishing something, and this is what I did also in Asia, I need to make sure that it's somehow sustainable. So I mean, of course, people changing and everything, but I think the base topic in IT should run somehow, and the team should have a certain mentality, a certain culture, which is independent from who is the CIO, right? And this is what I'm trying to establish, that I get this creative thinking, this innovative thinking into my team, that they are also taking responsibility, accountability for what they are doing. And then basically it doesn't matter if I'm here. I mean, a new one would bring new topics, new focus and in certain topics, which is good. But I want that the team is running and having just accountability for what they're doing daily basis. And this could be something which I need to establish. Of course, there is still a lot of things to do. For myself, I don't know. I probably could also go on to the business side. I'm pretty open on that. I did IT. I know IT. I'm coming from a business side, so I have a lot of business background as well. I do believe actually that maybe not more my generation, but future CIOs, I do see them as CEOs of companies, because if you don't have some kind of technology know-how, I do not believe that for some industries you can lead a company in the future. So I do see a lot of career chances. I mean, not like career is over, right? So I do see a lot of chances for CIOs also going into business roles as a COO, CEO, whatever it might be.
Question from Chris Rice.
Yeah.
This is on cultures. Curious to contrast your unique experience in IT between Germany, Asia, and the USA. Pros and cons. What can we learn from other cultures?
Well, it's difficult, right? I can just get in trouble with this question, right? Well, if I'm I mean, I just have the experience now within Daimler Trucks North America, and this might be a special culture. But coming from Asia, I felt, you know, when I look at the commitment, integrity, loyalty to the company, in Asia, of course, it's a different model, right? And I'm not talking about long working hours, but people live the company. And people are in the company, right? And they are trying to move and to improve, and they do. It's difficult. It's taking them a bit of time to adjust and whatever, but they are doing it because they live for this company. They really, and the company is taking care, of course, of the people as well. And this is something what I actually missed here. You know. There is a lot of topics where I had a lot of trouble to push my team for the sake of the company, right? And also in terms of how you treat budget, right? If you have a budget responsibility, I would expect you treat the budget like it is your own money, right? But what I found here is actually, hey, it doesn't care. It's not our money. We just spend it. And this is something which I've not seen in Asia, right? Because they're really different in there. On the other side here, you have a team which is more innovative, which is taking risks, right? Asia, they are not taking risks, right? Which is going out, which is trying to do different things as well. I mean, Germans, right? Germans are structured, right? Germans are they are trying. Germany is trying always to do some kind of an organization approach first, right? First you build the organization and then you talk about content, right? I have that often. Luckily I was out a significant time of my life. So I have a bit of an adjusted approach to everything what I'm doing. But I think from Asia and US, it was a bit of a shock for me at the beginning. But we are, you know, I'm trying to bring certain elements into and give the people also an idea about it for the better understanding and trying to combine everything. But I mean, at the end of the day, you have a specific culture, and Daimler Trucks has has a very specific culture. We had something which is called Leadership 2020 at Daimler generally, you know, where we established some kind of a new working model, right? Where you have, we basically got rid of some kind of an old performance system, how you do performance evaluation and all that kind of things. And for me personally, it wasn't good, right? But here they were taking it to a complete extreme, yeah. And this was a bit counterproductive at the beginning, but we're adjusting it now, so I'm quite happy with it now.
Well, this is great, Lutz. Thank you so much for your energy, and you are indeed a Chief Information Officer, if I've ever seen one. Thank you for all of the information, and really congratulations. I just want to ask the one question that I know everybody hasn't asked yet, and everyone wants to ask it, and that is, when are we going to see robot trucks in Portland?
If you look, I assume you say you want to have the autonomous or automated as that.
Everybody has their own choices. For me, I'd rather see them transform, but you just say they're going to drive and be autonomous, that's okay too.
If you look correctly, they are driving here already. We have them on the road. Not that often here in Portland, but we have them on our test tracks, and we have them on the East Coast because as you might know, we acquired a company which is called Talk Robotics, which is helping us in order to develop the virtual driver. And we have trucks on the road. We have trucks. We have now also a testing ground, which is agreed because you need to have agreement that you drive them. And in Virginia, we are allowed to drive the trucks on public roads. So this is important as well. But sometimes we have them on Swan Island as well, driving around.
Well, keep us updated, because the robots might take over the future, and us as information managers need to know when that event is going to happen.
Yeah. It will be a big game changer when we have that, but I tell you also one thing, it will be on highway, the use case is on highway and not in the city, because running a fully automated level 5 truck in the city, it will not happen that fast. Yeah, on highway, the application is easier, and I think there is also the use case for it. If you look at it, there is no value, or there is no positive business case to ever develop an autonomous passenger car, because you can just not create a positive business case for it.
Interesting. Thank you so much, presenters. It was a very, and congratulations to both awardees, and looking forward to seeing everybody next time.